beautiful people, a very beautiful morning to you all. How are you all doing? How is preparations for your Osce exam? In today's video, I just want to ask a simple question. How well do you know how to chart your News 2 charts? A lot of failures these days in assessment are coming from the News 2 charts. People charting wrongly, people calculating their news score wrongly, people charting saturation under scale 2 instead of scale 1. In today's video, I want to teach you how to chart your News 2 chart and avoid all these errors. Before we dive into this video, I have an announcement. I have added the join button on my YouTube channel. So if you click on that join button, you are expected to pay £2.99 every month to make you a channel member. As a channel member, it shows me that you love what I do and you are taking a bold step to become a partner of this channel. So the benefit is, if you ask me any question, I am mandated to answer you. That is the benefit of being a channel member. Number two, I have posted a question on pressure ulcer for channel members, and when they do it, they send me the answers. All right, and I've done a video on Dalama, but I don't know how to upload it for channel members alone. So these are the benefits you get from being a channel member. So if you fancy it, all you need to do is click on the join button and you pay £2.99 every month, and you can cancel at any time of your choice. So without wasting further time, let us dive directly into this video.
Ryan Little.
Alright guys, welcome to my channel. Let us dissect how to chart the News 2 chart. Now help me look at your screen, and after that, if you feel you know how to chart your News 2 chart very well, look out for the questions I will be sending you to chart on your news chart and send back your answers to me. Now, firstly, the patient's name, the patient date of birth, and the date of admission will be written for you. The patient's name, the patient date of birth, and the date of admission will already be written for you. But you are the one to write the dates, and you are the one to write the time. Nurse Violet, how will I know the date and the time to write? It will be written for you. You will see, assume it is today, which is the date of your exam, and the time is probably 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 8 o'clock. So now for this one, they said assume it is 8th of May and the time is 10 o'clock. That is why you see I did 8/5 and the time is 10 o'clock. Now the patient's respiration is 20. So if you look clearly at your screen, you will see how I charted it 20. I put a dot between 18 to 20. That means 20. Now, the patient's saturation happens to be 96. The patient's saturation happens to be 96. And you know, for your Osce exam, you are only to chart on scale 1. You can never use scale 2. If you use scale 2, it is a fail in Osce exam. So you can only use scale 1. So under saturation, the saturation of this patient is 96. You will see where I put a dot on 96 on your screen. All right, you put a dot on 96, you look the second time that you're putting that dot on 96, and you look the third time that you are putting the dot on 96. So you don't chart on scale 2. Now the next one is air or oxygen. If your assessor does not tell you that the patient is on oxygen, it means the patient is on air. So you put a dot on air. But if the assessor tells you patient is on oxygen, then you put a dot on oxygen and the device is NASA cannula. But our assessor now has not told us that the patient is on oxygen, so we'll put a dot on air. Now take note, you can see how I neatly charted it. Now this patient blood pressure is 150/90. Patient blood pressure is 150/90. Now you can see how I charted it 150/90. So 150 falls within 141 to 160. So this is how I put my arrow on 150 and under 90. And remember, when you chart it, you look a second time that you are charting it exactly at 150 over 90, and you look the total time that you are charting it exactly at 150 over 90. Now, the patient pulse is 80 beats per minute. If you look at how I charted the pulse, I put a dot on 80 beats per minute. I look again the second time, I put that dot on 80 beats per minute, and I look again the third time, and I put that dot on 80 beats per minute. Now, the next one is consciousness. All patients in OSCE exam are at LATs. I repeat, all patients in your OSCE exam are LATs. Remember, you ask the patient, what is your name? They told you their name. So all patients in OSCE exam are alert. So under alert is either you put a dot or you put an A, just the way I have done. Now, the patient's temperature happens to be 37.5. Patient temperature happens to be 37.5. Now look carefully the way I charted temperature. I put a dot on 37.5 and I look the second time that dot is exactly. So the dot I put is between 37.1 to 38.0 because the patient temperature is 37.5. Now you don't have to cram anything. We now have to calculate the news total. Now go to respiration, where we started from. Is the patient scoring anything for respiration? No. Because if the patient is having a respiration of 25, the patient will be scoring 3. But in this case, the patient is having a respiration of 20, the patient is not scoring anything. So the patient is having 0 for respiration. Now go to saturation. The patient's saturation is 96. And for 96, the patient is not scoring anything. But if the saturation was to be 94 to 95, the patient would have been scoring 1. But because this patient's saturation is 96, it means that the patient is not scoring anything for saturation. Again, we have 0 for saturation. Now let's go to air or oxygen. We were told that this patient is on air. So it means the patient is not on oxygen. When a patient is on air, trace it under the score, the patient is scoring 0. But if the patient were to be on oxygen, the patient would have been scoring 2 for that parameter. But in this case, the patient is scoring just 0. Now, for blood pressure, a lot of people have failed the news chart because of this blood pressure. They take note of the diastolic reading. No, you have to take note of the systolic reading. Now, look at the patient blood pressure. The systolic is 150. Trace the systolic. Is the patient scoring anything for the systolic? No. But if we want to trace the diastolic, you will see that the patient is scoring 3. So you don't use diastolic reading to take the scores. It is only systolic reading you use to take the score. Again, the patient's systolic reading is 150, so the patient is scoring 0 for blood pressure. Now, the patient pulse is 80 beats per minute. Is the patient scoring anything for pulse? The answer is no, so we still have 0. Now, the patient is alert. Like we said, all patients in OSCE exams are alert. So because of that, we put A or we put a dot and the patient is scoring 0. Now, this patient temperature happens to be 37.5. For a temperature of 37.5, what is the patient scoring? 0. Now, because everything is 0, our news total is 0. Again, you don't have to cram anything. Go to the back of your news chart. News of 0 is to monitor the patient 12 hourly. So you don't have to escalate the care. But whenever a patient is having news of 1 and above, then you must escalate. So escalation of care for news of 1 and above becomes yes. But because this patient is having a news of 0, you don't need to escalate their care. So news of 0, monitoring frequency is what? 12 hourly. Escalation of care is N, which is no, and you see that the person puts their initials. Now, if you feel you know how to chart your news chart correctly, take down these parameters, chart for me, and send your answers to me. Number 1, temperature 37, pulse 88, respiration 22, SpO2 94, BP 130/70, and patient is on 2 liters of oxygen via nasal cannula. The date is Today, 24th of November, and the time is 8 o'clock. Now take down your second question. Temperature 37, pulse 92, respiration 20, BP 224/90, SpO2 95. Patient is on air. The date is 24th of 11 and the time is 8 o'clock. So try your hands on this and get back to me. Thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.